Hello everybody, welcome back. We're going to go back in time in this video. I want to share something I recorded just before we left across the country. We did make it the whole way out to Arizona, way down here south near in the Yuma area, where we tend to spend much of the winter. So we did make it, we're down here, but I want to share something I recorded just before we left. It's one of those power things that, the portable power battery thingies, whatever. We've seen enough. We've dealt with a number of those over the years. I have a couple different ones actually in my van, in the RV, and I have another small one I use for other. They're just incredibly handy to have. It's a good time of year to buy them right now. There's sales. There's one in particular I'm going to show you about. It's like 50% off. It's already, prices have come down, plus another 50%. There's probably no better time to buy these than right now. It's a gift idea. If you know somebody, that camps a lot, or yourself, whether you car camp, van camp, RV camp, they're incredibly useful. This is a really nice one, and it's really cheap right now. All the information, the website and all that's going to be down in the video description. Check it out, they're really cheap. Anyway, I'll tell you a little bit more about it here. So we're going to not fast forward. We usually fast forward. We're going to back up in time. Something I recorded, like I say, just before we left. So let's go to that now. It's amazing what shipment from Amazon, a trip to Walmart, and to Lowe's can do for a van build. This will probably be the last video we do on this van here. We come across this project helping somebody out with, and we basically got some curtains up in it, and that's about it, and inflatable mattress on the floor. Some things come together pretty quickly all of a sudden. Going to show you those in a minute. For not a whole lot of money, you can outfit a little van or the vehicle with some goodies in it, and make it ready for adventure and traveling or car camping, van camping, whatever. But it's coming together pretty nice. Also picked up another product here we're going to use for power. I did take advantage of one of the benefits of having the YouTube channel that's doing fairly well, at least, is you get offers once in a while from companies. I'm not in the habit of doing like review videos, and my reviews are probably pretty different from most you might see on YouTube. We probably haven't done a review video in over a year. I just don't make a habit. I don't like doing them. But once in a while, if the need arises and the right offer comes along, if it's a good match, whether I personally need it or can help somebody else out with an item, if it's a good fit, once in a while I'll do one. Most reviews, when I'm looking at reviews, I'm usually disappointed in. I'm not looking for somebody just to regurgitate information on a website. If you're looking at a product, you go to their website and say, okay, it costs this much, and it does this, and it does that. All these technical specifications on them, and that doesn't tell me a whole lot. What I'm looking for is, if I'm going to buy something or make a deal on something, I want to know how others have found it useful and how they're using it as an end user, how they're using it out in the real world, like out camping or traveling with it. What kind of things have they found it useful for? Because a lot of websites don't even list some things. We'll get into that. We will test it out on a couple of things that I personally have found them quite useful for. We'll get back to the van in a minute, but I want to go ahead and get this thing opened up. I want to see if it's if it comes pretty much fully charged, ready to go, or a lot of times they store them with a partial charge. Because usually you see the instructions are, to plug it in and charge it to 100% before you use them. I don't know if that's absolutely necessary, but oh yeah, and Reflectix and some spray paint, and we got some goodies for the van. So mainly what I want to see too is what cables this came with, because sometimes you're going to buy like the solar charging cables or adapters separately. I'm not sure what this came with. Okay, that's the regular power 110 charging thing. And what's this? And the, if you want to charge it with your vehicle while you're driving or whatever, that port. So a solar one, I might, unless it's deeper in here, I'll probably have to pick up separately, and that's okay. The solar adapters and stuff are really cheap on Amazon, so that's okay. So let me get this out of here, and we'll tune back in. Okay, presto magico, it is out of the box. This is a UDPOWER S1200. The, I think maximum like surge is 1800 watts, but output, and it has a, but it has a 1200 watt hour capacity. Comes with all the usual handy USB ports, USB A's, USB C's. I think this is one of those. Yeah, there's 12 volt barrel ports. All right, 5 110 plugs. That is pretty handy. Comes with lights. Should power it on maybe. Eco and normal. I'm not sure about this mode. Might have to look into that. Maybe just put it normal, and I don't know. And there's fast charging. I think these charge in an hour and a half, which is much better than the older one I had. It was a different brand. These have gotten cheaper and better over time. Okay, there's the solar and DC in. So I think the solar adapter I would need would have this same type of thing, or you can get the little adapters, whatever. Get that, and just with the solar jacks on the end of it. So yeah, like I say, those are cheap. What else here? Okay, on button. Let's see what happens. So it came with. Okay, so it came 51% charged. Oops, go on. It's not outputting anything right now because nothing's plugged in. At this rate, it'll last 99 hours. That's input. Okay, that's how much when you're charging, like how much solar it's taking in, or how much 110. And this is output if we're running stuff off of it. But right now it's at 51%. So I'll plug it in. We're gonna top that off before we put it to use. And I did just notice here on the back is the where you plug the 110 into. It has another solar a solar in port, charging port back here, and it does have a nice handle and one of those magnetic charger things on the top. But I'll get this plugged in, or get the other end plugged in so this thing can start charging. All right, it's still calculating how long it'll take to get fully charged from 51%. That's counting down. 800 watts input and 0.9 hours left to charge till it's fully charged. So we'll let that go for a bit, and we'll come back and maybe we'll test her out after she's done. All right, we're back at just a short time later, and I guess it's fully charged. An auto shut off. Let me unplug it from the back here. And yep, 100%. All right, let's take this thing out to my van for a minute, and we'll have a look in here shortly. My van, because my van already has some goodies in there that we would use to power. This right now doesn't have a bunch of electronics in it. Well, there's a little TV that's not hooked up yet. Other than that, it's just a cell phone charger, really. But it's going to have some things coming. Well, we did put a bed in it and some other things, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so over to my van. I've often thought if I had to do this all over again, would I do it the way I did it with all the electronics I have in here, or would I keep it simple and just use one of these portable power things? And I think this UDPOWER 1200 is probably enough power that I could have just made it happen with this. Instead of having, I mean, granted I have solar panels on the roof, but I could have just ran wires down an adapter and just plugged it in here. It's its own internal charge controller. So that would have eliminated this whole thing I have mounted up in here. It would have eliminated that component, and all this wire, the wiring goes down to from that to the batteries, which of course this is the battery, and then over to the inverter, which makes a 110 volt, which this has its all, you know, its own, you know, 12 volt and 110 volt, so it has its own inverter. It's like an all-in-one. It would just save me all these components and all the extra wiring. I could have just plugged the refrigerator. I also have a little freezer, and my TV. I have a 32-inch TV in here, and a microwave. It would have ran everything. All right, I've gone ahead and hooked the this UDPOWER S1200 up. Took a minute and unplugged all. One of my things were normally plugged in at, and plugged them into this. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on here in a second. I'm at a point with the van to where I take my battery out for the winter. You know, I'm gonna I don't use the van in the winter time, so I'm gonna pull that battery out, put it in winter storage. It's back behind that water jug there. Anyway, so it's time to hook this. So I'm going ahead and unplugged everything here. Let me turn this on. Okay, power on. Let's power it up. The first thing should come on is the 12 volt refrigerator. And there it did. Okay, that powered up the this upper 12 volt section. And let's see here. So that refrigerator is cranking up to about 35, 40, 45, 33. It's bouncing around here. It might settle in once it gets going here. All right, we'll see here. It was plugged in cold, so it's already down to temperature because I just unplugged it. This thing's been running all summer long, doing pretty much nothing but keeping drinking water cold. Same with this one. I did just unplug it for the winter, but I don't believe this one running for a time being. Oh, and so this one's running on, and never mind all the cables. If I were to do this in the van, I would arrange this all differently. This would have been put down on the floor and run the cables up behind, so they're kind of out of the way, and this would be neater. But just for demonstration purposes, I just have them up here all over the place. Okay, this thing seems to be settling in at about 32, 33, 34 watts. So at that rate, this I think it calculates at that rate this would run my refrigerator for about 30 hours. All right, so that's what's nice about these, is you can kind of calculate its life. How about the microwave? Let's turn the 110 thing on. Another one of my favorite things to use these for is my coffee maker, which I sure could use one right now. Let's power that up. All right, microwave came on. Oh, the TV, the little light on the bottom of the TV came on, and I didn't notice. Did this blink? It's ready to make coffee if I want a cup. All right, if I remember right, this little coffee maker, it's not a Keurig. I think those use a little bit more power. This is just a cheapo from Walmart, the Mainstays brand, I think it is. You know, it's like $19 or $29.99 or $24.99. I think it uses around 900 watts, which is within, this is rated at, I think, 1200, maybe actually it's 1195, right at 1200. Maybe they rounded up by a couple of watts. Yeah, so it's capable of 1200 output. I think it'll do more momentarily if it's like a surge and then settles down. I think it's up to 18. I think that's what this is. I think that's what this is about. The UDTURBO 1800 watts. So I don't know how long it would maintain that 1800 watts, but normal usage, you know what? I treat my stuff within capacity. I don't want to be, you know, blowing it up or overloading it and misusing it. So if it's rated at 1200, you know, everything I do is going to be, I'm not going to plug bigger stuff in it and just to see if it'll do. I'm just not going to abuse my equipment like that. So I know this is less than 1,000. Right now it's putting out 45 to 47 watts, 50 watts, bouncing around between around 45 to 50 basically. So I'm going to turn this on. I already loaded it up with water and put a cup in there. See what it jumps up to. So yeah, if you would have taken away that roughly 50 watts, I guess it uses just under 1,000. So still, we're within, you know, our 1,200 watts. So we're good. Now at this rate, using 1,000 watts, just over 1,000 watts, it would maintain this. This battery would do this for 1.1 hours. All right. Well, thankfully, it only takes a couple of minutes to. It only takes a couple of minutes to do that. So, and we're at 100%. If I remember right, also this would only probably uses about 5 or 6% of the total charge per cup. If I remember, we'll see. Okay, it's down to 98. And we'll see. So you can make a bunch of cups of coffee. We'll check out the microwave for just a moment too. Now, I don't think the television uses all that much. We could probably run all these things at one time. The refrigerator, the coffee pot. We could probably turn the TV on. All right, let's see what we're up to here. And still be well within. Well, it's like it barely sees the TV. It's still only like 1,040 to 1,050 watts. Of course, that may be too. The refrigerator may have run and just happened to have just kicked off too. But I know it's 50 or 60, maybe 70 watts. I know it's less than 100 watts, or I wouldn't have done that. Let's put the display back on. Yeah, so it's down to 96%, and this thing's about ready to start spewing some coffee out of here. Another one of my favorite uses for these things is an electric blanket. Okay, if you're still messing around camping or traveling this time of year, and you know, if you travel for the winter, still most of the country, nearly all of it, you know, in January and February, experiences some cold nights. I mean, unless you're really in the southern tip of Florida, down around Miami or the Florida Keys, you get some cool nights. So, or cold nights. So electric blankets are wonderful, and they use about, I think on low, I think a regular size one. I don't know about a king size. I think the big king size use like between 100 and 150 watts. The smaller ones are like 50 to 100. Well, I have. Oh, I smell the coffee. I have just it's a small electric blanket. It's like a throw. So, you know, it only covers about 3/4 of the bed. But you know what? I put that on. It gets to be a cold evening. Instead of having to run the heat all night too much, I might run it very, very minimal. But just put my electric throw on low, and that happens to have an auto off. After 4 hours, it shuts off. But you know, it could auto off after like an hour. So what I do, if it's like getting kind of chilly, I'll go ahead and turn that on low, and you know, about a half an hour before I'm ready to go to bed, I go back and the bed's all nice and warmed up, so comfy and cozy, go to sleep. And you know, once you're in some blankets, you're kind of cocooned. You know, your body temperature keeps things warm. Plus, I have Bella. Bella, oh, hang on a second. Bella, where you at, girl? Was you gonna help with this video? Come on. Where are you? Where are you at? Where are you? There you are. What are you doing? What are you doing, girl? Oh, go on, up. Go on, up. There you go. Huh? There you are, girl. You smell that coffee too? All right, my coffee's ready. What was I talking about anyway? Oh yeah, staying warm. All right, so I always keep that in mind too when using these. If I know that 50 watts, how much to charge of this do I have to? If I have an electric blanket or a throw that uses like 50 watts of power, I figure, you know what, after the day's all done, I want to make sure that I've saved maybe, you know, a roughly 30, 35, 40%, Yeah, probably not quite that much. Probably 30% of the charge if it's going to be a cold night. But even then, maybe an extra 5%. If I want to get up in the morning and have coffee, I better save a little bit more than that. So the safe thing is to run it like this. Is ideally you charge it during the daytime, whether you charged it with a generator or with solar. You go in the evening, whether it's this battery or your onboard batteries, you should be all charged up by evening. That's the most annoying time to run a generator, really, is in the evening when people are starting to chill out and quiet, maybe watch some TV and around the campfires quiet. Evening's the annoying time to, or especially that some people run a generator all night for a, maybe for heat, maybe for a CPAP or whatever. So these are great for that as well. Anyway, you go. I go into the evening having everything charged up. So if I don't watch TV for a while, be on my laptop, you know, charging it or whatever. Come bedtime, so I know when to cut the TV off or other things. I want to save roughly 50% of the charge for maybe an electric blanket, a couple of coffees in the morning, and then I'm all set. You're in a new day and it's daylight again. If you want to, the sun's back out, you can recharge it with solar or with a generator, or plugged it, however you want to charge it. But yeah, charge it daytime, watch your power in the evening, save enough for what you might need overnight, whether it's electric blanket or a CPAP, and have coffee in the morning. Okay, that's my strategy. So my coffee is ready, and this refrigerator, honestly, it's done nothing. Because I did bring the milk over earlier because I knew I was going to make a coffee. It's really done nothing but keep. There was more in here, but I've kind of depleted it here, knowing that we're winding things down. So yeah, so far we've just run that. We have the TV on, we've made coffee, and we're still at 95%. Okay, so that's pretty good. We didn't use the microwave. Now the microwave is very similar to the coffee pot. I know from using it, this one and the one out in the Coachman. They're just the small ones from Walmart. They're rated at 700 watt output. It must be 700 watt of cooking power. They actually consume right at 1,000 watts as well. So that probably took 2 minutes, maybe a little bit more, to make coffee. Same thing, if you were to warm something up and use your microwave for a couple of minutes, same thing, we would have used another 5%. Okay, we've probably been down to 90. So you can factor that in. So you want to warm up some leftovers or whatever, make a couple baked potatoes or whatever, that takes 5 to 6 minutes. You just kind of calculate that one probably would use, instead of using another 5%, probably would use 10%. So it's not hard to do the math on how long this lasts when you have this, you know, this information here. Anyway, and you know what you're applying. It's a little trial and error. Maybe, you know, try it and make a couple of notes, and get your calculator out and you know, figure stuff out. But this 1200 watt is it's a lot of power, really. I could make everybody a cup of coffee, all right? we could watch. I mean, we could watch movies tonight and still be down to probably still have 75% or 70 or 65. We could watch TV probably all evening. Still have a lot of charge left. Okay, I'm gonna hide you up in here a minute because I just need you out of the way so I can do this. I need a coffee. The other thing is the air conditioner. I'll tell you something else. that will run my air conditioner in the back window as well, and for quite a while. That's what I said. Let me take you out of here, okay? Be careful, don't bump your head. I have a window unit air conditioner behind that curtain. So many of you already that know my van already know that's back there. It runs about 400 watts. That's all. It's a 5,000 BTU window unit. It only uses 4, maybe 425, 430. You know, it uses, we'll just call it 500 watts even, just for the sake of doing math easier. So this is a 1,200 watts. On paper it would be, well, let's just round it down to 1,000 watts. It would have run, if I turned out on full blast, opened up the doors like I was going to try to cool the entire world, I put that thing on high, on max, full fans and everything. Let's say it would run that air conditioner for 2 hours. So, in what I have done in the past, back before I had this get up that I have now, is I have run it off of one of these 1,000-watt one, not a 1200, just so slightly smaller. I've run that and I've put it on low and closed the place up and pull my front curtains and just put it on low, you know, get out of the heat of the day. Just put it on low to medium so the compressor just kicks on and off a little bit here and there, just enough to keep it comfortable. Take an afternoon nap, get out of the hot part of the day. Or, you know, if it's a warm muggy evening, same thing. Just put it on, put the fan on low, put the compressor on, you know, set the temperature about medium. And, you know, at nighttime, of course, the sun's not beating on the van. It stays cooler, but it just keeps it nice in here. Kick it on once in a while for a little bit, and still plenty of charge left. Yeah, barely the entire night. It probably only used like 50%, maybe. Give or take a little bit. I forget exactly, but that I thought, wow, that's nice that you could do that. Oh yeah, and still have power in the morning to make coffee, right? So these things are incredibly handy. I just I love new technology and stuff that these came out and are a thing that is so useful. So not to mention using keeping tablets in charge. Here I did open up the web page. Currently, now this will probably be updated next day or two, or maybe it has been. Depends on when I publish this video. They were $6.99. Now they're marked down to $3.99. That is a huge to where what these things in various brands, the price range that these used to be, and they were slower and just these are now, you know, fast charging. It charges in an hour and a half. A little more output. Yeah, down to $3.99. I think there's having a Black Friday sale. These things are super handy. I don't know how we've lived all these years without them. Oh, and I did want to mention that these USB-Cs are they're like the quick charging ports. They're 100 watts. All right, those of you familiar with the more powerful chargers that charge phones and tablets more quickly. These are the 100-watt ports. And I did mention, I think it has the magnetic charger pad on top. I don't know what else I need to really say about it. Like I said, I don't get into all the technical specs, you know, too much. Maybe touch on them a little bit, but I leave that to things like, there's other reviews out there that really just, they put it on a bench and they just do all these minute tests and make sure everything checks it perfectly, and it's this is this and this is that, and you know, it's basically regurgitating all the specs you can find on. Go to the spec sheet, we can go to all the spec sheets, specifications, probably a breakdown of all the, you know what, we're just you know, I don't need to regurgitate all that. So that's that. Right, I'm about what it is in the real world, how the end user uses it, and how things are, you know, how you can kind of plan how much you need and how much you can do with it. Yeah, we're at 94%. We're refrigerator's running. I can hear it. So anyway, or again, look for all the discount codes in the website and the product link and all that stuff, the Black Friday. So any data, any information that they give me, I'll list down at the bottom in the video description. Check them out. They're even for home use. If you have an ice storm or a hurricane and you're without power, it'll run a commercial residential refrigerator for the average one, I think 10 to 15 hours. So that might be enough time for the power to come back on. So, or if it has it, you can run this down the road to where there is power, plug it in for an hour and a half, recharge it, go back to your place where there's still no power at, plug it in again for another 10 or 15 hours, keeping the refrigerator going. So, or whatever else, or maybe the refrigerator and a TV and coffee, okay? It'll cut your time down, They said a 10 or 15, maybe you only get 8 to 10 or something. Alright, so great for residential use as well. Or probably job site stuff. Probably capable of running some, you know, a bunch of tools, jigsaw, sanders, and that sort of thing. Incredibly useful. Alright, let's go check something out. Okay, so what did we do to the van? Alright, from the last video, it only had an inflatable camping thing in it from Amazon, but a regular twin size bed frame and a 5-inch, I think it's triple layered with different density foams, a 5-inch memory foam mattress on it, just a sleeping bag on it for now, and you know, blanket, a couple of pillows, new sheet set in here. So that's a twin. It's slid the whole way up now behind the driver's seat, so there is some storage back there. There is that water. This was also in there too. This is one of them cooler 5-gallon cooler things, and the rechargeable water outlet. And we have a little there's a handy little jaw bucket. Might come in handy for a few a thing or two. This might be the first thing that gets added somewhere, is a wall mount thing for this little 19-inch TV. It's something I had this little TV. I've certainly since upgraded. I'm gonna donate that to the cause. Not sure where that's gonna get mounted yet. Oh, but this table, it's a little table. It's adjustable up and down and whatever. Also donated that table to the cause. Put the Reflectix in all the windows. I think that one's down right now, and just on the upper part, so that these lower ones that slide are still functional. Look out for a view and some ventilation. You know, they slide open there a bit. What else did we do in here? Oh, something else I donated. These lights on the ceiling were the old regular incandescent type bulbs that, you know, they get pretty warm and they use a lot of power. These run off the engine battery, so wouldn't want to use these too often or leave them on too long. And there's two back there and these two. I just happen to switch. I just happen to have LED equivalents. There was only one that worked, the incandescent. So we replaced that and put those all in. So these LEDs you can run a good while without a long time without having to worry about draining too much power. So that was a nice little upgrade. Yeah, I have a few things laying around that I was able to contribute to the project. And what else? The Reflectix, he actually painted them on the outside. Wait, was there anything else in here I want to do? Oh, and these totes got from, well, one I had. All right, here's one that has mainly fishing stuff in that tote. And then this one here, I think, yeah, it has some clothes and things in it. And there's room under there. So, plenty of room for more storage under there. I'm loaning this. I have two Mr. Buddy heaters, and you can use this one. You can pick up a hose. Then there's a 20-pounder sitting up on the floor up here. But in this small area, it probably really, on even a cold night, only ever run just the pilot light would make enough heat in here to keep it comfortable. An area this small, even running one of anybody that has a van and uses Mr. Buddy heater, you know, I mean, I even know my bigger van, even running it on low, it will cook you out of here. You just can't, I mean, maybe in the morning you might do it for 5 minutes just to take the chill off on a cold morning, but that 20-pounder is gonna last a long time just running a, you know, pilot light on cold evenings, and that will keep it decent in here. So other than that, what else did we do? Let's go back to that Reflectix I said he painted. Now these windows are tinted and a little dirty, but you can hardly see that Reflectix. He painted it flat black, and with the flat black and the window tint, you can't even hardly tell they're there. And I don't think he's gonna bother painting the back ones, and I think this one's been painted. Might be able to see it a little bit in there, but it's certainly not as obvious as when it was all silver. So that kind of hides that. So that's the little van build, the quick throw it together. Not a whole lot of money in that. I think the most expensive thing was probably the bed and the bed frame and mattress. And I think the bed frame was 40 to 50 bucks, and the mattress was close to 70. So it's about 120 bucks in the bed, and whatever cheap sheet set and pillows and other things. They called it another 100 bucks, and just with everything, the bucket and the other miscellaneous stuff that's in there, a couple $100 and some help from some things I contributed. But that's it. It's gonna be a cool little camping van to run around to either travel or camp, or go on a big fishing weekend or something. We outfitted it pretty comfortably, I think. So we're gonna wrap it up. Back to the UDPOWER supply for in there. Look for Black Friday sales. They're probably already on sale. I need to look up the website information and see what's going on with the latest pricing and maybe upcoming sales. I'll put all that stuff down in the video description below. I think that's it. Thanks for hanging out and checking the little van build out. That's gonna be it though for the winter. We're getting ready to leave, and we probably won't see this van again until who knows when, maybe in the spring. We'll be on our way. So all right, thanks for hanging out today. I'll see you next time.